Hey guys, Mike from Metacomics here with the first episode of a brand new series called Essential Reads, where we talk about the absolute must-read runs of comic book characters both well-known and barely heard of. For this episode, we're going to be talking about Marvel's Ant-Man. With the release of the Ant-Man movie just a few weeks away, now is the perfect time to do a little digging into the Marvel archives and get to know this quirky character's history so you can go into the film with a better appreciation for what seems like the world's goofiest named superhero. Since Ant-Man has been 3 different people over the years, we'll be looking at a few runs from each incarnation of the fun-sized hero, giving your comic palette a sampling of the flavor each character brings to the table. Alright, let's get started. The original Ant-Man was none other than Marvel's most controversial big-brain science geek, Hank Pym. Hank Pym doesn't exactly have a reputation for being the most well-liked hero. After all, he did create Ultron and beat his wife, two things I'm pretty sure we can all safely say were pretty dumb. Still, despite Pym being a pretty big jerk, he's an essential part of Ant-Man's origin in the Marvel Universe as a whole, so we'll kick off our essential reads with some of the most classic Hank Pym stories. Hank Pym, aka the original Ant-Man, first appeared in Tales to Astonish number 27, followed by issue number 35 on to 69. Since this particular run gives us the complete story of how Pym became Ant-Man, started dating Wasp, and eventually transitioned to Giant Man, it's a run worth checking out, even if the old school dialogue is enough to make you want to upchuck in a brown paper bag. Another classic, must-read Hank Pym story is the His Name is Yellow Jacket run, featured in Avengers issues number 59 through 60. Here we're introduced to Pym's newest superhero identity, Yellow Jacket. What makes this particular story so interesting is it's the first time we start to discover that Pym might have some mental issues, and also features him marrying longtime girlfriend Janet Van Dyne, aka the Wasp. To round things out, we have the Ultron Unlimited story arc from Avengers Volume 3, issues 19 through 22. The crux of the story revolves around Ultron deciding that he wants to repopulate the Earth with robots, and as things unfold, we discover Ultron's brainwaves were actually based on those of his creator, Hank Pym. In other words, Ultron's arrogance and self-delusions are because he thinks like Pym, a kind of father-like-son sort of thing. Next, we're going to be taking a look at Scott Lang. Scott Lang, the incarnation of Ant-Man we're getting in the film, made his first appearance in Avengers number 181, but if you want a really good in-depth look at his origin story, you need to pick up Marvel Premiere number 47 and 48. In this run, we discover Lang is a former convict who risks the second chance at life he's been given to steal Pym's original Ant-Man suit in order to save the life of the only surgeon who can save his daughter Cassie from supervillain Darren Cross. Another classic tale featuring Lang can be found in the pages of Iron Man number 131 through 133. The main story for this arc centers around Tony Stark's plan to bring in Dr. Sondheim, the surgeon who helped Lang in the Marvel Premiere run, to cure Bruce Banner of the Hulk. Things don't go according to plan, they never do, and Banner is stuck permanently as the Hulk. Stark and Sondheim manage to undo the damage, but the fight between Hulk and Iron Man leaves Tony trapped in his armor, forcing Ant-Man to shrink and make his way through the armor to try and free Stark before he runs out of air. Last but not least, we have the most recent run of the Ant-Man series, penned by Nick Spencer. The story centers around Scott Lang attempting to balance his life as a superhero with also being a father. The series ended just before Secret Wars, but will be back once the event comes to a close. This brings us to the black sheep of the Ant-Man family, Eric O'Grady. O'Grady is more or less a giant tool who's 100% not even remotely worthy to wield the power of the Ant-Man, which is partly what makes his series Irredeemable Ant-Man totally worth reading. It's a hilarious series from Walking Dead creator and main writer Robert Kirkman that's sure to make you laugh your butt off, so make sure to check it out. Another great arc featuring O'Grady is Ant-Man and the Wasp Volume 1, which features the world's worst Ant-Man teaming up with Hank Pym, who is now the Wasp. Just imagine that combo for a second, and you can probably see why it's a must-read. Alright guys, that's going to bring this video to an end. I hope you check out these issues and get to know Ant-Man just a bit better before the movie comes out in the theaters. Please be sure to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with more great comic-related content.